This is the centrifuge tray.
It simulates the gravity force you feel when shot into space.
The speed is controlled by the instructor from up there. Why not try it?
Why not?
Hey everyone, good morning. It's nearly Christmas at the time of recording. This is going to be my final video of 2017. Apologies for the shaky camera. I'm just holding my phone in my right hand, and with my left hand we're going to be looking at a Seiko watch. Now, can you guess what this is? The title of the video may possibly give this one away, but hey, let's just open this up and really take a good look at what this is. I managed to pick this up on eBay, and this watch does have a magnificent story to it. So let's go ahead and open it up, and I'll tell you all about the watch. So came out in 1978, and just in time really for the Moonraker film, which was a Bond movie, very big Bond movie indeed. Actually one of my favourites. I think it's a very underappreciated movie, but we'll get into that a little bit later. This might turn into yet another long review. The box is it really is pristine condition, and there's a what does this even say? I can't quite read it. There we go. Box made in Japan. So, you know, even down to the box, guys, it was, you know, it's made in Japan, and it does have, it's kind of like a, if I can maybe zoom in, it's kind of like a material, relatively soft on the top, like a cotton kind of material with the, say, famous Seiko logo. You've got a kind of plastic surrounding, but it still feels very premium. And I imagine in 1978, if you bought this timepiece, then you were probably quite well regarded. And here we go. This is the Seiko M354 5000. Where do I even begin, guys? So let's just take a look at this little emblem here. This is the Seiko Quartz emblem SQ, and you just don't see this now. They don't produce any quartz watches anymore, I don't think. I mean, I believe there's one or two in China, but they're nowhere near the kind of quality of old. They're just kind of plastic, you know, cheap $20 watches. This originally came out at around about $225 to a maximum of about $275. And again, it kind of coincided with the release of Moonraker. Now, Moonraker was released in 1979, and Roger Moore was the actor who played Bond in Moonraker. And so the watch has got so much history behind it. Now, you might be really specific here, and you might say, well, actually, the M354 in the movie was the M354-5019, and you would be correct. You would be correct. That is the actual one in the film. And that's where this one comes in, guys. I managed to get hold of this one as well. Now, I don't know, again, how well you're always able to see tiny writing on watches. It's always a little bit difficult. This is the M354 5010. So this one looks exactly the same as the 5019, the M354 5019. However, according to the internet, the looks are identical. It's exactly the same looks. However, there was one or two changes on like the internals, you know, maybe some wiring or whatever. There's nowhere on the internet that I can find that says exactly what those differences were. So either way, guys, it's the M354 module. These are the closest you will ever get to the Moonraker watches. It's basically the same module, I believe. So these are, you know, these are the Moonraker watch for the real hardcore fans who are willing to pay, you know, obscene amounts of money, and they want the M354 5019 only. Then, you know, that it's just, you can't really get them. You can't. But I think that's what I'm trying to say, guys. If you go on eBay, you will seriously struggle to find these two. Never mind the 5019. I don't even know if Seiko made many of them. But again, that's another topic altogether. Let's just get straight into both of these watches. So I need to give a shout out really over to the guy I actually bought these from. Now, well, I bought one of them from him. I bought this one here, and the reason is I just really like the watch. What can I say? I mean, the watches are they're kind of timeless. It was chrome free disco. I actually bought this one from, so a shout out to him for actually keeping this watch in good condition for a start, and sending this out so quickly. So thank you very much for that one. This one here was on eBay. Now the story behind this one, let me get into the story behind this. A guy bought this along with the Seiko A159, and I've got the A159 instruction booklet here. I don't own an A159, but basically the A159 looks a little bit like this. You've probably seen it on eBay. Anyway, so in 1978 he bought the A159 and he bought this, and he decided that he preferred the A159, which is okay. That's fair enough. So he decided to keep the A159 on his wrist. He'd taken the battery out of this one and shoved this in a drawer, and it has remained there for the last 30-40 years. So he took it out, put a new battery in. It still worked as new. I mean, completely. It's on like a little plastic. If I just take that off, just pop that back in there. Oh, I'm struggling a little bit. There we go. That's back in. So if we take a look at this one here, you'll actually see that this one is. I mean, this one is completely mint. There's very few fine scratches, and to be honest, some of those scratches are, to be honest, probably just from it sitting, maybe wiggling in the box when you've moved the box. It's got hardly any wear at all on this one. You really, as you can see, you have to hold it in a certain way in the light to see the fine scratches, and this is quite scratchy material, to be honest, so I was made up to get it in this kind of condition. If you flip this over, you'll see that it's got kind of a weird back, a weird case. Now you might see a little bit of black poking out, and all that is, it's just when the battery's been changed or taken out, it's just the water resistance kind of band, rubber band, so nothing to worry about. You know, easily fixed, really. Now, let me just take a look at the other watch. Oh, gosh. There we go. Don't want that to fall. Now, this one here, if I just kind of compare them, let's just compare them real quick. You'll see that this one has definitely had a little bit more use, the blue one here, because if you look at the actual display, the display is quite faded, because that one's probably had a lot more use. These are LCD watches at the end of the day. And this one, again, it's virtually brand new, even though it's 40 years old. It hasn't had a battery in since it was new. So the display on this one is much easier to read, even when you kind of tilt it. Whereas this one here, it's actually not too bad, but it is a little bit, it's a little bit faded, and the light, there's a light on the bottom. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Casio F91-W, the light isn't. It's not great. Let's be honest. It's not great. But it's. This is 1978, guys. The fact that the LED is even still working is astonishing, to be completely honest. Anyway, let's move straight on. So the watch was in the Moonraker film. The watch was actually used as kind of a detonation device. Hugo Drax had got James Bond trapped beneath the Moonraker, the spaceship itself, and the shuttle was just about to take off, and it would have burned James Bond to a crisp, and Dr. Goodhead and James Bond have to escape. And so what he does, he actually takes the back off the watch. It's kind of been modified, if you like, for the film, and there's a detonation charge that runs through, which is really quite cool. Let me jump straight into the main functionality of this watch. It's a memory bank calendar. Now, Seiko really bigged this up in the day. What you could do if you push this is kind of this crown here. It does pull out, which we'll show you in just a second. But if you push it in, it actually shows you the date. Now, the date runs, I think it was from 1930 up until 2010. Why it went from 1930 when the watch was released in 1978, I truly have no idea. I think that was really a bit of a mistake by Seiko. I don't understand why they chose to do that. But either way, it's the memory bank. So what you can do is you can actually scroll through by pressing various buttons, and you can set a memo on a certain date. Now, it's a little bit complicated. I can definitely do a video if someone would like me to. How useful it is, I don't know, because you can only set it to memorise a day, not a specific time of that day. So how useful it is, it's up for debate. If you want to set a reminder for 4 p.m. on Christmas Day, well, you might be in a little bit of trouble there, because it won't be able to. You'll be able to set it on Christmas Day, just not 4 p.m. So anyway, let's go back. So you push this in again, it takes you to the current time and date. Now, if you do end up finding one of these on eBay and you think, well, what's the point of me getting one if the calendar goes up to 2010? What is the point? Well, the point is, mine is currently set to 1989, as you can see. Now, that has got the same day arrangements as 2017. So the Saturday, which is today, if I go back here, it's Saturday, the 23rd of December. So it really doesn't matter too much that this goes up to 2010. You can still use the watch for as long as it works, you know, until the day it just finally gives up and breaks, if it ever will. So that's one good thing. You can it's currently set to 24 hours here. You can press the button at the top, and that'll take you just a standard 12-hour time. Not a good example, I know, because we're not quite at 1 o'clock yet. Now, something interesting I've noticed is that this watch here, again, because this was stored and not used for, since 1978, you can see that it says future past, ember set, light set, and the Seiko logo is, really visible, really visible. Now, if we take if we take this watch here, you'll see that the Seiko, it's still visible, but it looks a little bit faded, and underneath it really has faded. They've gone. They've virtually gone. You can not really see them too well. Now that's just the way it is, guys. I mean, this is a vintage watch. I know sometimes we we look at these things and just forget just how old it is. It's in fantastic condition, despite the age. Something I think you do need to kind of be aware of here is the bracelet here. This is on the original bracelet, and this isn't the bracelet that was worn in the Bond film. The Bond film had a really specific kind of bracelet that I've never ever seen. I've never been able to find it on eBay. I've never really seen it elsewhere apart from the Bond film. It's almost as if Seiko, they used this watch, but they gave it a new bracelet, so quite interesting. This one uses a slightly different bracelet, and it fits really nicely. It's quite a light watch as well. The band is really light, and it does have a little feel of quality there. So I'm gonna now put this watch on and see, and basically just see how it looks. I think it looks great, but obviously I'm a little bit biased. So let's give this a shot. So I'm just going to flip the watch over. It kind of confused me for a second. I was almost looking for the push button release, but it doesn't have one. It does have micro adjustments. By the way, just in case anyone's interested, you've kind of just got to pull the watch away from the band there, and it does work. A little bit strange, I know, but anyway, let's put this on the right way. I'm going to try and put this on with one hand. I really need to get a better recording of this. Let me just fix this on my wrist. And there we go, guys. There is the watch. It's quite a nice fit. It's got a little bit of give on it, so it will. It shouldn't travel too much, actually, to be honest. And that is how it looks. And it's very passable for today. It's quite a subtle watch. It's not too thick. It's quite light. It's it's obviously quartz. It's very accurate. Very, very happy with the watch. And it's the same with the other one as well. I'll try and put this one on as well. The only thing I would say is that the bracelet, it's got a different bracelet on, as I've just mentioned, so you can actually remove links in this, and it looks like it's really easy to do. It's kind of like one of the Casio World Time watches I've got. This one over here, actually. It's kind of like this one in the sense that you can, and this is the Casio Royale as well, so I'll be doing a video on this one very soon. But it's kind of like this one where you've just got to push in those little holes in the bracelet. That's just what this one's like. It's really difficult to show you guys with one hand here, but there's kind of like little holes in the bracelet. Where is it? Yeah, it's right in between the links. If you can just about make it out. Yeah, just there, guys, just there. And you pop that in and the link will slide out. Okay, so that being said, sorry for the shaky camera once again. And there you have it, guys. That is the M354 5010 on the left, and on the right we have the M354 5000. So yeah, excellent watches. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy having them in my collection. And be sure, if you do see one of these, definitely try and pick one up. I think they're fantastic watches. The Seiko Quartz M354 memory bank calendar. It uses one SR1130W battery, and the battery life is approximately 2 years. Apparently, you get 2 years out of a battery, which by today's standards is not great, but at the end of the day, I've seen these watches, I've seen the batteries for these watches online, and they're like £1.50. That's like $2 or $3, so they're pretty damn cheap. Pretty damn cheap. I mean, it's not going to cost you a lot to run these watches at all. So yeah, if you've got any questions, please shoot me a message. And I just need to give a shout out as well to the Seiko Obsession group on Facebook. Really fantastic group. If you're into your Seikos, definitely check them out. Really nice bunch of people who love Seiko watches. So I'm going to post this video there, and hopefully fellow watch enthusiasts will enjoy seeing these two watches. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll be back with more videos soon.
We that moonlight trail leads to your side, just like the moon